Hello there guys, LaserBeast here, and welcome to another update on the Journey to Longboi challenge. What have I gotten myself into with this? Why did you guys let me start doing this and not just put me off straight away? I have been a busy boy. I have not been a lazy beast. I've been busy. So, last time we spoke about raw gold farming and it's reliable, and I just mentioned my routes and stuff and how long it took me to do the raids and things, so if you want to check that out, I'll link that in the description below. So this time we're going to talk about what I've been up to behind the scenes, talking about professions, the auction house, trade skill master, my experiences of all that, what I've learned and what I've been up to, so we'll get stuck into that. And just before we get stuck in, I want to say thanks again to Samadan because totally unexpected got mentioned on Wowhead this week in the Economy Weekly wrap-up as a new goal maker. You know, obviously talking about the approach to goal making with someone that doesn't have a bloody clue what they're doing. So that was really cool. Didn't expect to be mentioned on Wowhead. Thank you, Samadan. That's made me a week, that did. Awesome. And thanks again everyone that's been commenting helpful things on the videos. We've got 2 videos up now on this Journey to Longboi thing. And so many of you have shared like farms that have worked for you and sharing your success stories and giving me tips. It's helpful not just to me, for everyone else that's trying this. So thank you very much for that. It's all really appreciated, so cheers. So I'll mention a couple of little farms that I've done from what you guys have mentioned and share like how that's gone for me too. So let's get stuck in with like professions. So what have I done there? So I've heard it said a few times that the basis of any good solid goal maker is to have your professions sorted. You know what you want to do, not necessarily to have all of them done, but just have your professions up to date so you can craft profitable things, keep the auction house stocked with stuff so you've got a steady income coming in, and then you do other things on top of that to supplement the income. And you can, obviously once you've got capital, then you can play around with flipping things and all that business. So step 1 is get your profession sorted. So I didn't take this lightly, so I decided to try and get every single profession maxed. So I had all my options open and I could try different things and see what worked for me. I had a little idea of the main things I wanted to sell, which were potions and flasks, or simply just sell the herbs if I was unsure if I was going to make a profit or not. Because obviously all those things are quite, you need to know what you're doing with that. And I could also sell the ore that I'd gathered, because I've got a character that's a gatherer, which is just herbalism and mining, so I can do that at the same time. I already had leatherworking maxed, so I was thinking of selling some uncanny gear because I had some mats there that I wasn't using. So I crafted some uncanny gear, a few different bits. I've sold a couple of pieces. It seems quite competitive. I always get undercut, you know, soon, and I don't have the time to always be going back to the auction house to cancel my auctions and put them back on again. I just simply don't have the time. I'm either working a long shift and I can't get on for like a full day, or, you know, so I've had a few sales from there, but not much success. I also wanted to sell enchants because I had my enchanting was reasonably high, not max but high enough. I've sold quite a few enchants, probably more than anything. That's probably been one of the best things I've had on the auction house. The current concept ones and a couple of old ones from Legion 2 that I think people use for when they're leveling up, or for twinks and things like that. But I still need to get my enchanting maxed and get some rank 3 recipes to make that really properly profitable. I wanted to sell some gems from geocrafting as well, you know, the whole Leviathan's Eye things and all that kind of gems, because I thought they'd probably sell quite well. And as well, the old world stuff like the mounts, like the Sky Golem from engineering mounts and stuff like that. And the geocrafting panthers and stuff like that. I wanted to kind of get them sold, but that's more of a long-term thing. So first things first, I started with my gatherer. Obviously I needed mats and things to get myself going, get this ball rolling. So I picked which alt I wanted that to be. I would have liked it to be my druid, but he's my main, and I wanted to keep like a crafting profession on my druid going into Shadowlands, so that if there's crafted bind on pickup gear that you can make, I wanted to be able to have that, because obviously he's my main, and if he's going to be raiding and stuff, he needs the best gear, so I kept that. So I picked my paladin as the gatherer, so I got herbalism and mining on there. It just works well together. You can gather both things at the same time and it's more efficient. So I began farming a lot of my own mats and started leveling up mining, geocrafting, herbalism. Obviously need a ton of mats, and I used for that. Highly recommend this resource, wowprofessions.com. Just if you Google, you know, BFA blacksmithing level up guide, you'll get WoW Professions straight away. Just insert other profession there, and it'll just tell you exactly what you need to do to get to max. It just really takes the thought out of it. You can make whatever you want, so that's really good. But I didn't have all the time that I needed to farm stuff, so I thought, right, when I got to about the 200k mark, mainly from farming old raids and stuff, raw gold things, I thought, okay, I'm going to invest some money into my professions now to speed things up a bit, to get the ball rolling again. So I sent about 15-20k to each of my crafting characters and bought loads of mats off the auction house to finish off their leveling. But then I realised it wasn't as simple as that. This is obviously from a completely new goal maker's perspective. I'd forgotten about things like, you know, you had to do rep farms, you had to have like honoured or revered with most of the reps. So on alts that I've not really played that much, I had a lot of work to do to get the reps up so I could buy rank 3 recipes and things. And obviously there's a whole expulsum game. If you're trying to do uncanny gear, like I'm a blacksmith for example, I've played my Death Knight, who's my blacksmith and dual crafter, for like 20 minutes at level 120. So I had like no expulsum, so I had a lot of work to do. Now this is one thing I've learned from this journey, that when you get into Shadowlands, one of the first things I'm going to do is level up my main, obviously, and my ults that are going to be my crafters for Shadowlands, and start chipping away at getting those crafting professions leveled up and gathering recipes and things from word go. So I'm pretty much good to go for the whole expansion then. So Shadowlands is going to be my time. I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to get some decent gold in Shadowlands, and hopefully there's another good mount like the Longboi or something to aim for. I'm sure there will be. So we started making things to sell. So the next thing to do was obviously get TSM. So I had TSM from the start. What a minefield it was from the beginning. The best thing from TSM, even if you just installed TSM and didn't really use it for the auction house functionality and all that business, is the tooltips. Just knowing what something is worth is massive. And that sounds so simple, but if you don't have to go, you know, to a website and Google what something's worth, you can get so much information just from these tooltips, and then you can start to make decisions. Should I just vendor this? Is it worth going on the auction house? You can look at the sell rates of things. You know, is it worth farming this? All these kind of questions you can answer through looking at TSM and make your decision for yourself. So that was really helpful. And when it got into actually using TSM for the auction house, holy shit, I had no idea what I was doing. So then I went to Samadam. So Samadam has done some really, really good guides on TSM. If you have zero clue what you're doing, I highly recommend that you check those videos out. He's got a full series starting from scratch to, you know, the more complicated stuff. It's helped me out so much. So I'll link that in the description down below. So I started to make my own groups. I haven't made any of my own strings because that's still quite complicated to me, but I'm able to sell, you know, steadily. I've been making about, on average, between 4 and 9k on the auction house a day, which going from absolutely nothing to that is quite decent. You know, it's a steady income, and it feels great each morning to wake up and have something, even if sometimes it's like, you know, 2k. It's just nice to have that sat in your bags, in your mailbox waiting for you in the morning. You know, it's a good feeling. So getting the profession set up, as I said, I wasn't really prepared for this. It led to quite a bit of upkeep. So I had to do things like on my inscription character, you know, logging in each day to see if there's any rank 3 recipes, world quests out there that I had to do, like for the contracts and things. Obviously the expulsum, so I realised, right, I'm going to have to figure out the best way to get expulsum, and I think there's a thing with creating braces, and you just send them to your characters and use these scrapper, you know, scrap as many as you can, and you get expulsum from that. It's the cheapest way of doing it, as far as I know, but that's something I need to look into. This is a long journey. This is like, if you're trying to get the Longboi and you want to do the raw gold farms, it's solid, it's reliable, it takes a lot of time. If you've got the time and you don't want to get into all this extra, I will say hassle, because it is hassle. It's enjoyable though, for the most part. If you just want to go and straight get the Longboi and you've got all the time, like if you're not at work in the minute because of the coronavirus and stuff, then make the most of the time and just smash out the old raids, because you'll get there. But I find this more interesting, and this journey for me now has become more about learning about the process of making gold and thinking like a gold maker, or a goblin if you will, and it's just a different way of looking at the game. It's interesting. So another thing I've tried to dabble in is Transmog. So I had quite a few Transmogs just sitting around on other characters, and I got some from the salvage crates. I had like 200-300 salvage crates sat around on my hunter, who was my main that I played in Warlords of Draenor. So I went and got all them opened, got some decent Transmogs through there, you know, stuff worth stuff worth from like 500 gold all the way up to like 470,000 gold. Obviously that hasn't sold yet, But I got some decent things there, and that was the start of my Transmog selling, so I've got that on there. I've only got probably about 200 items that are worth trying to sell, so I've only had a couple of sales from there, which has probably led to about, 10k profit. But it's something, you know what I mean? It's 200 items is nowhere near enough to be getting steady sales from Transmog, given how slow it sells. But it's something, you know what I mean? And it's been part of the whole auction house TSM learning process that's been, decent to do. So going on to farming, I have never in my entire time in Warcraft farmed anything really, even reps. I just do them kind of as and when. I never sit down in one area and just farm because I prefer doing other things, just simply that. So I thought I'd give it a go this time, and obviously a lot of you recommended the Ataldazar dungeon farm, so I gave that a go. Solid results, you can't argue with it. It feels good to know, okay, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes and do 10 runs of Ataldazar, just getting the skinning the saurids, and I'm going to make 7k, 8k, 10k, somewhere thereabouts. It's good to know you're going to get that solid money there. What I've found with farming is, and this is why I wanted to go with my professions more, raw gold farms are static, aren't they? So like, I'm going to put this much time in and I'm going to get this much gold. That's good, it's reliable, you can't argue with it. But with the professions, and this is why I've been trying to learn the auction house more, and it's something I recommend you do if you're like me, if you were clueless, give it a go. But with the auction house and professions and stuff, profits can vary, and there's a little bit of risk there. If you're sat on a stack of herbs, for example, and you don't know if you're going to get a profit, TSM might tell you at the minute, if you craft this, you're going to get, just say it's something like 20g profit per portion. So you're thinking, wow, I can make a decent wedge on this. The prices of the portions and stuff might fall the day after. You might sell on a bad day. If you're not selling on things like reset day, you might sell for less. And if you're not thinking about stuff like that, you can risk losing gold. So it adds another element to it. But personally for me, farms are good, and if I'm happy with what I've got on the auction house at the time, then I will go and do a farm. So it's just nice to have that option. So my favourite two farms are the Ataldazar dungeon farm, so thanks guys for you that have recommended that, and the Drustvar leather farm as well, the skinning farm, for killing the quill rats I think it is, the invasive quill rats or quill boars. That's also quite a good farm, and it's nice to be actually out in the world. I have not done any of the mount farms because the prospect of sitting there for like an hour or two, killing endless mobs, and the chance of not actually getting the mount is it just puts me off completely. I'd be so annoyed if I did a farm out and didn't get the mount. I'd just consider it a massive waste of time. Even though you can, you could skin at the same time, or you could get plenty of cloth. I don't actually have a tailor at the minute, which is something I need to work on. So that would be a total waste of time to me, not my thing at all. So yeah, basically in summary, professions, this is where I'm up to now. I still, because I invested all that gold into my professions, I'm still sat just above 200k. Slow progress here, guys. Like I don't know if I'm going to make this mount, in all honesty, but I'm just going to keep chipping away at it. It's a learning process. If I don't make the mount, I might alter my goal. I might adjust my goal to making, say, 1 mil, 2 mil, depends how it goes. But it's a learning process, and it's been fun. So yeah, that's what we're up to. So let me know where you're up to. Are you going on with this journey? What are you doing? Are you going with the raw gold farms? Are you going with professions? Are you trying something totally different? Are you flipping things on the auction house? Have you done this before? Are you successful? So many questions. Share your story, guys. It's all interesting to me. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers for watching. I've been Lazy Beast, and I'll catch you next time.